Good day, everyone. Okay, before I start, I would like to tell you that please bear with my surroundings since I cannot control them. So, okay, for this video, I am going to discuss about the four pillars of education. What are these pillars of education? The International Commission on Education for the 21st Century stressed out that the four pillars of education are learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. These pillars of education said to be crucial to peace and mutual understanding. So how come? Why that is pillars of education crucial to peace and mutual understanding? So as we go deeper, no, as I will discuss it one by one, ma-answeran na to na siya nga question. Okay, so I will now discuss the first pillar of education, which is all about learning to know. Learning to know implies learning how to learn by learning how to learn by or through developing one's concentration, memory skills, and the ability to think. Also, learning to know that is acquiring instruments of understanding. Okay, so what are these instruments of understanding? Such as curiosity and critical thinking. No? So how could you acquire instruments of understanding? So as I've said earlier that learning how to learn through developing one's concentration, memory skills, and ability to think. So if wala kay concentration, wala na develop imong concentration, imong memory skills, and ability to think, then you're not a critical thinker. Then dili ka ma-curious. No, 'di ba? Okay, so for example, infancy. Okay, an example for this pillar is infancy. Infancy, um, we are all aware of the word tabula rasa. I don't know if kanang tanan ta mutuon na ang infancy or babies kay empty state, no? Tabula rasa means empty state before receiving outside impression. The human mind, especially at birth, viewed as having no innate ideas. Unsay naa sa baby, ang naara niya instinct to survive. The only thing nga iyang rang mabuhat is cry, no? Cry ra siya, di ba? Makabantay mo kung walay mo guide sa bata, wala siya, ang environment niya, naa siya sa environment sa mga hayop, di? Ang ihapong ma-adapt is instinct to survive sa mga animals, no? Naamantay sa to, animal, tawag ani ay, basta something id man to siya, no? So, okay, mo to siya instinct to survive. But since, the baby is kuan naaman sa mga tawo, so ang iyahapod is kanang as time pass by mo acquire siya og knowledge, no, nga ma-acquire niya sa iyahang kanang parents. So okay, infancy must learn how to concentrate on objects and on other people as kanang makabantay ta, di ba, kanang babies kung lighter color imong suot, no, kung hayag kay kalantawon, di ba mo sunod-sunod naman ang mata sa imuha. So inana nag-concentrate sila ilaha bali dira nga moment, no, dira nga time kanang kanang slowly gi-develop nila ilahang concentration, ilahang memory skills and ability to think. So another example is this. So okay, ang baby is unaware of the knowledge around him, no? Ang nara niya instinct, empty state siya, wala pa siya ka-acquire og knowledge. So maka-acquire siya og knowledge if na-develop niya iyahang concentration, memory skills, and ability to think. Sa unsa nga pamaagi? So sa pamaagi na every time mohilak siya ang iyahang parents or other members of the family, every time mohilak siya, tagaan siya og pagkaon, ilisan siya, or liguan siya. So, if kana siya mahimong routine, mo na siya ang routine every day or every now and then, therefore, magtimaan ang bata. So, gidevelop niya iyang memory skills. So, if ma-develop na iyang memory skills, iyang concentration, iyang ability to think, then, pasabot, the next time gutumon siya, iyang buhaton is muhilak siya because nakabantay naman siya nga every time muhilak siya naay moduol niya. So, na-develop iyang ability to think. So, if ma-develop na niya iyang ability to think, pagdako niya, di ba, as time passes by, modako man jud ang bata, no? Kabantay mo around 3 to 5 nga 3 to 5 nga kanang edad is ang bata puro pangutana, no? Because na-develop man ang iyang ability to think, iyang concentration and memory skills. So, kung na-develop siya, pasabot, naka-acquire siya instruments of understanding. So, unsa nang example sa instruments of understanding? As I've said before, naa siya curiosity. Diba? Curiosity, curious man ang bata. If mangutana siya, unsa ni? Ngano na? Diba? Mo na siya ang curiosity. So, pasabot, tungod kina-develop yung ability to think, concentration, memory skills, naka-acquire na siya instruments of understanding, which is ang curiosity, such as curiosity and critical thinking. Anya, the first pillar of learning, the first pillar of education, which is learning to know, diba sa to, acquiring instruments of understanding. Therefore, na-practice niya ni siya nga pillar of education. And then, this type of learning is concerned less with the acquisition of structural knowledge, but more with the mastery of learning tools. Yes, because unsa pa may naa sa bata, di ba? We all, kanang kitang tanan, moagi ta sa basic, moagi ta sa fundamental, moagi ta sa katnang unsa lay essential, no? Wala man ta ni diretso pag kakuan kanang tawag aning, di ba, tanan man ta moagi sa basic. Wala ta ni diretso pag kanang mo engage og complex nga mga butang, right? So, kani daw siyang concentration, kana daw pag-develop sa tong concentration, memory skills, and ability to think, concerned less siya sa acquisition of structural knowledge. Unsa na structural knowledge? For example, katong procedural, no? More on complex things. Ang kanilang daw siya nga level, kaning learning to know, is more with the mastery of learning tools. Yes, mastery pa ta. No? Kung bata pa ta, di ba? Asa man ta sa mga basic? Unsa na siya nga color? Unsa ni siya nga shape? No? Wala man ta ni diretso og AB plus CD plus ABCD, no? Wala man ta diretso ana. So dira ta sa mastery of learning tools. Okay, so sa education, as a teacher, if you have been helping students to develop their skills that would make them independent learners, you are doing well on the first pillar of education. Why? Because you have prepared them for life in the knowledge society in which we all now live. Right? Kita as teacher, we are responsible, we are capable of teaching the children or the students of what life kanang unsa ang reality, no? Unsa jud ang life. It's not all about basics. Naapod tay complex. But dili ka proceed sa complex if there are no basics. Thinking is something children learn first from their parents and then from their teachers, di ba? Of course. Kay parents ang naa sa ato ang kiliran at first, no? If we are ready na to engage on complex things, then we are kanang i-proceed na ta sa school, which is naadara ang teachers. So to learn to know, students need to develop learn to learn skills. Okay, what are these learn to learn skills? Such skills are learning to read with comprehension, listening, observing, asking questions, data gathering, note taking and accessing, processing, selecting, and using information so that students can become lifelong learners. Yes. No? If magbasa lang ka without comprehending, without understanding, gabasa ra ka, no? You are not you are not capable of becoming lifelong learners. Kay muhunong man ka, taman ra man kagbasa. Wala kay pagsabot, wala kay analyzation, no? You are not observant. So you are not processing and selecting information. You are not data gathering. So as a teacher, imong role for the students nga ma-develop yung learn to learn skills, ang role sa teacher is to facilitate, no? Facilitator, catalyst, monitor, and evaluator of learning. We should monitor the students kung na-develop ba yung learn to learn skills. Muna to ang role silang life. Because the process of learning to think is a lifelong one and can be enhanced by every kind of human experience. That's why we teachers should kanang engage students to interact and have a group work. No? Because learning is not just all about theory. No? We should apply it too. Because kanang as they've said na experience is the best teacher, right? So, learning by doing. In this respect, as people's work becomes less routine, they will find that their thinking skills are increasingly being challenged at their place of work. Yes. As I've said before, experience is the best teacher, no? We should not limit the students nga mo explore, mo discover, mo go beyond, mo go outside their comfort zone and outside the box. We should not limit the students kung unsa ray naa sa blackboard mao ra pud iya ang nabal-an, no? We should not deprive them to explore, to construct, to innovate. We should be the one to encourage them. No, because learning is a lifelong process, no? Not dili ingon nga guman mo college dira pagkatama, no? Learning is limitless, infinite. Learning is everywhere, knowledge is everywhere. So this first pillar of education involves the acquisition and development of knowledge and skills that are needed to function in the world. Diba? So what are those? Mo na tong acquiring instruments of understanding. No? Ang curiosity and critical thinking. Literacy, numeracy. So mo na siya. Therefore, learning to know is the basic, the fundamental, the foundation of these pillars of education. Okay, so we're done with the first pillar of education, which is all about learning to know. Let's now proceed to the second pillar of education. Okay, the second pillar of education is all about learning to do. Learning to do represents the skillful, creative, and discerning application of knowledge One must learn how to think creatively, critically, and holistically, and how to deeply understand the information that is presented. Learning to do is the compass to be entrepreneurial in the 21st century. Development of competence, life skills, personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes. So this pillar describes not only as putting knowledge and learning into practice innovatively through skill development and practical know-how, but also as development of competence, life skills, personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes. What are the example of these competence, life skills, personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes? Such as teamwork, responsibility, communication, decision making, leadership, trustworthiness, and ethics. So this tawag aning. So these competencies, life skills, personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes, these are need to be developed, no? Need to develop. So how to develop this? By katong mga na-acquired ni mga instruments of understanding. Through this we can acquire human dignity, no? Unsay naa sa human dignity? Self-worth, dignity of labor. If naa ka human dignity, then you are into a sustainable quality of life for all, no? Towards a culture of peace. Nganong towards a culture of peace man ka, nga naa kay sustainable quality of life for all if naa ka human dignity. Unsa din naa? So naa dra ang global spirituality, health and harmony with nature, truth and wisdom, love and compassion, national unity or global solidarity, sustainable development, peace and justice, and creativity. So, unsa juday ang tumong aning learning to do? If ma-develop nimo imong competence, life skills, personal qualities, aptitudes, and attitudes such as teamwork, responsibility, decision making, communication, leadership, trustworthiness, and ethics, naa ka human dignity. Para asa ng human dignity? Para or towards a culture of peace. Ngano? Ang peace should start with should start with ourselves. If na kay peace, then you are able and able and effectively you are able and effectively participate in the global economy and society. No? Anong kinahanglan naman imong i-develop imong competence, imong life skills? Unsa din naa? Why? Because these skills are often linked to occupational success, such as vocational and technical skills, apprenticeships, and leadership and management competence. Para asa din siya, no? Aside from towards a culture of peace. Para makaparticipate ka. Mo ganing learning to do, no? Learning to do. It's all about the acquisition of skills that would enable individuals to effectively participate in the global economy and society. 'Di ba? So, okay, i-connect nato tong learning to know. Okay. So, if a person already acquired the said instruments of understanding, such as critical thinking, then you are able to produce something, no? Unsay ma-produce? Pwede ka makaproduce og tangible and non-tangible product. Unsa ning tangible? Of course, kanang mga mahikap nga product, no? Physically mahikap nimo siya. Unsa ning non-tangible? Imuhang competence, imong life skills, no? Personal qualities, imong aptitudes and attitudes. if naa ka ana, if ma-develop na nimo, then you are capable of participating. 'Di ba? You are capable of participating. You are effective, no? To be part of the global economy and society. So, mao ni siyang learning to do. It's not just about the practice, no? Practice of skills para makaproduce kag tangible products, but also sa imuhang self, no? Nakay makuhang values. Values nga makapag-grow nimo as a person to be able to participate in the society. So that's it for the second pillar of education. Let's now proceed to the third pillar of education, which is all about learning to live together. So, what is this pillar? So, this pillar implies that the teacher should help the students to develop an understanding of other people and appreciation of interdependence since we live in a closely connected world. The ability to understand other people's reaction by looking at things from their own point of view. So, learning to live together involves the development of social skills, di ba? So, kung kaganina is, we are preparing ourselves, no? We are preparing ourselves para we can effectively participate, no, to society. Kani, we are able to participate na. Tapos, as we are able to participate, unsa naman po dato we need to adapt, no? We need to adapt to our society, no? So, unsa akong adapt? Okay, sa pamaagi na, we understand other people's reaction by looking at things from their own point of view. So, unsaon pag understand other people's reaction? Of course, with the help of the previous katong duha ka pillars of education. Diba? Since naama ka human dignity, then you are able to interact. You're able to interact. Learning to live together involves the development of social skills and values such as respect and concern for others, social and interpersonal skills, and an appreciation of the diversity among people. Yes, because dili raman ikaw ang namuyo sa kalibutan, daghan ta, no? So for us to live together in peace and in harmony, we should have human dignity. We should have those core values, no? We should have those competence, life skills, attitudes, personal qualities, no? So learning to live together involves the development of social skills and values. So, unsay pamaagi na we can learn to live together. So, an example is an example is kanang learning other people's language, no? Learning other people's language. Why? Unsa din na Learning other languages can also enhance learning to live together, as can the ability to adapt to rapid change in different areas of human activity. So if we are able to learn other languages, then our capability to understand is wide, no? Wide na ang range. A range of skills are necessary for learning to live together, including skills of self-control, handling emotions, communication, such as self-expression and empathic listening. Then interpretation of behaviors, critical thinking, relationship building and cooperation, negotiation, mediation and refusal, problem solving and decision making. Many all of these are referred to as life skills, being seen as essential to meaningful personal development and social relationships in today's world. So mao to. Um, for us as a person, as an individual, the katong learning other people's language, culture and kanang tradition are one way to live together, one way to practice this pillar of education. So as a teacher, unsa may mabuhat nato to allow the students to socialize, no? Socialize, interact, exchange ideas. So, unsa? Sa pamaagi na maghatag ka group activities, open forum, debate, brainstorming, reflection paper. Why? Unsay naaani nga mga activities? We allow students to interact, no? Exchange of ideas, reflect to other people's idea. No? So for if kanang we are able to kanang tawag aning we are able to hear other people's kanang perspective towards a particular something, no, then we can unsa man we can able to or we can practice our ability to understand other people's reaction by looking at things from their own point of view. So mao na siya. So I guess there taman ang learning to live together. So let's now proceed to the last pillar of education, which is learning to be. Learning to be. Unsay naa sa learning to be? Learning to be. So, to find oneself refers to the role of education in developing all the dimensions of the complete person, the physical, intellectual, emotional, and ethical integration of the individual into a complete man. So, unsa siya kuan example, no? Unsa example ani nga pillar of education? No, refers so kani siya learning to be involves activities that promote holistic personal development, body, mind, and spirit for an all-round complete person. So this include cultivating one's self-analytical and social skills, creativity, personal discovery, and an appreciation of the inherent value provided by these pursuits. An example of under this pillar is a teacher who participates in training workshops that will enhance his or her knowledge and skills in the teaching learning process. Of course. Ngano okay. So through participating training workshops, seminars and all, as a teacher you should have the initiative, no, to participate. Why? Because developing all the dimensions of the complete person should start sa imong self, no? You cannot develop someone's dimensions of the complete person if ikaw wala ka kabalo mismo unsaon, right? So ikaw dapat makita pud sa students na nag-start na sa imuhang kaugalingon as a teacher. So enhancing his or her knowledge and skills in the teaching learning process. So mao na siya ang learning to be. It involves activities that promote holistic personal development. So mao to siyang mga training workshops, seminars, no? Okay, so let's now recap or kanang summary. So okay. So first, is the learning to know, no, the first pillar of education. So, learning to know implies learning how to learn by developing concentration, ability to think, and memory skills. So, if ma-develop na siya, you can acquire the instruments of understanding, no? Because unsa to, learning to know, that is acquiring instruments of understanding. So what are these instruments of understanding? Critical thinking, curiosity, creativity, creative thinking, ang mga inana. So if kanang naana ka ana na nakay mga na acquire na instruments of understanding, then you are able to proceed to the second pillar, the learning to do. So, unsa ang nasa learning to do? Naadara ang decision making, teamwork, cooperation, interpretation of behaviors, communication. So, what are these? So, these are competence, life skills, personal qualities, attitudes, and aptitudes that will allow you to participate in the global you are able to participate in the global economy and society. So, if you have this competence, life skills, personal qualities, attitudes, and aptitudes, then you are able to interact, exchange ideas or perspectives with other people. No, you learn to socialize, 'di ba? If you learn to socialize, then you learn to live together in peace and in harmony. So, saan pag-live in peace and in harmony? So, therefore, there should be respect, no? Respect na interpersonal skills and social skills, and interacting, exchanging of ideas or perspective. Diba, dili kay, kung unsa imuhang perspective, dapat mo masunod. So, dili na ka makalive together. So, mawala na ang third pillar of education, no? So, if you kanang nanay interaction, exchanging of ideas and perspective, na ay pagrespeto ay, therefore, after that, makadawat kag perspective from other people, then, there is na dayon reflection, no? Reflect, acceptance, no? Self-evaluation. So, you are open for constructive criticism. Through that, na kay ma-reflect from other people's perspective, you are able to accept it, and you are able to self-evaluate. Therefore, na kay self-transformation. Therefore, na-develop ang all dimensions of the complete person, no? Physical, intellectual, emotional, and ethical integration of the individual into complete man. No, dili makamakompleto if wala po'y perspective from other people. Kay dili sa tanang panahon, ikaw ray makakita kung unsa ka, no? So, you also need other people's idea and perspective para mo grow. So, I think that's it for this topic, the 4 pillars of education. So, okay. So now, let's go back katong pinakauna nga tong sa intro about the 4 pillars of education are crucial to peace and mutual understanding. So, I hope nga nakuan siya na tagag answer to siya nga question nga why does these 4 pillars of education crucial to peace and mutual understanding. Okay, thank you for listening and watching my video. I hope you learned something. Thank you.